Funding for this edition of State of Affairs with Steve Adubato has been provided by the Russell Berry Foundation, making a difference. IBEW Local 102, lighting the path, leading the way. The Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, PSEG Foundation. RWJ Barnabas Health, let's be healthy together. PNC Foundation. New Jersey Institute of Technology, NJIT, makes industry-ready professionals in all STEM fields. Newark Board of Education. And by the Fidelco Group. Promotional support provided by New Jersey Monthly, the magazine of the Garden State, available at newsstands. And by NJ.com, keeping communities informed and connected.
Hi, everyone. Steve Adubato. Welcome to a very special edition of State of Affairs right here on News 12 Plus. We're honored to be joined by C. Lawrence Crump, councilman in the great city of Newark, New Jersey. Good to see you, councilman.
Thank you. Good to see you, too.
You got it. Now, people are about to see an interview I did with you and Denise Peoples, who is one of the leaders at the New Jersey Sharing Network, one of our longtime partners. The website will be up right now. Denise is a double lung transfer recipient, received the gift of life. You got very involved in this initiative. You have advocated that April be Donate a Life Month in the city of Newark. Tell folks why you're so committed to this cause of organ and tissue donation, particularly in African-American communities.
Well, it's interesting. Knowing Denise, I've learned a lot about organ donations and the importance of it for our community. Prior to meeting her, I never even thought about being an organ donor. But meeting her, talking to her, understanding what it means just to be an organ donor and how that you can save lives, with the fact that there may be a tragedy attached to it or not. So what I want to do and what I advocate for doing is making sure that, particularly, like I said, in the minority and African-American community, that where the myths and misconceptions are put to the side and that people understand the importance of it and the importance of saving possibly your friend, your neighbor, your family member's life.
Well said. How important is the work of the New Jersey Sharing Network in this regard?
Immensely important. What they do is around the state. Not only do they advocate for in cities like Newark, but they advocate in Trenton, making sure that folks in leadership positions understand the importance of organ donation and helping them to be a part of this journey. Because as Denise will tell you, it's a journey, and we all can be part of her journey and everybody's journey that has an organ transplant.
Well said. You're listening to Councilman Lawrence Crump of the city of Newark, an organ donor. He's committed to it. He's advocating, he's informing, he's educating. April is, in fact, as I said, Donate Life Month in the city of Newark. You'll see an interview in just a little bit with the councilman and Denise Peoples. Councilman, I cannot thank you enough for joining us. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Steve, and thank you for what you do. Much appreciated.
Very kind of you. Check it out right here. Hi, everyone. Steve Adubato. We kick off the program once again with our longtime friend, Kim Gaddy, who's the founder and director of the South Ward of Newark, South Ward Environmental Alliance. Kim, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Steve.
Now, Kim, from one former Newarker to one who's a Newarker now, I want to make it clear. You are not in Newark. You're in London, England right now?
Yes, I am. I'm attending an international maritime conference.
Excellent. Well, we thank you so much for joining us. Let me ask you this, Kim. There is a power plant in the city of Newark. What is this power plant? Because we're going to be talking about environmental justice. It's a big part of our initiative, Urban Matters. The lower third will go up. One of the urban matters and urban issues that matters greatly is environmental justice and the concern many folks have about what's going on environmentally in urban communities. The Newark power plant, what is it and what's the problem?
Well, the problem is that this will be the fourth power plant in the ironbound community, Steve. So that's an environmental injustice. They already have three power plants. The ironbound would be the only community in the United States to have four power plants in one community. And the impacts from the power plant impacts the health of residents. You know, 1 out of 4 children have asthma in the city of Newark. And so when you have all these pollutants that come out of these power plants, it impacts the health of our young and our elderly. And we know because of Superstorm Sandy years ago that we needed to make sure we're better prepared for the changing times and floods in our community. But we already have three. We don't need this power plant. And so they're trying to say, because we don't want to experience another flooding situation that we did with Superstorm Sandy, we now need another fourth power plant. And we're saying, no, you don't.
Now, Kim, you may be the founder and director of the Southward Environmental Alliance, but also you're a mom, and this is on some level personal for you. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's very personal. Unfortunately, having 3 children with asthma, and I lost my 32-year-old son 2 years ago with a heart attack. And so I know too well that the environmental issues, the cumulative impacts of pollution from the many sources can impact our children's lives. And so this is very personal to me and all of the children in Newark, because I don't want to see another parent experience an asthma attack with their children or have one of their children die prematurely from a heart attack.
Kim, who's proposing this fourth power plant? And Kim talks about the Ironbound. The Ironbound is the section of Newark. There are 5 wards in the city of Newark. This is the East Ward. Why is it relevant? It is the section of the city of Newark below Penn Station. It is a very congested area. People live very close together. This is the fourth power plant. Who's proposing this?
PVSC is proposing this plant. And, Steve.
You're talking about the Passaic Valley Sewerage Commission?
Yes.
Okay.
And the problem is that our state senator, Teresa Ruiz, our assembly member, Pinto Marin, Spate, the mayor, the council, they're all against this power plant. The only 2, and matter of fact, First Lady Tammy Murphy came out to support us. And the only 2 that is still supporting it is our governor and the PVSC commissions.
So let me be clear on this. Senate candidate, as we speak, toward the end of March 2024, this may be seen after the June 4th Democratic primary for the United States Senate in New Jersey. Tammy Murphy is against this power plant. Governor Murphy is for it?
Yes. Yes. And because of all of her work with maternal child care,
yes.
And she has been a fighter for environmental justice and climate change since Al Gore. So she understands that the environmental impacts from this power plant will potentially harm not only pregnant women, unborn children, but residents. And so she even came out and supported us to say, no, we don't need this power plant in the city of Newark.
We will have the governor back on, and we'll have Tammy Murphy on. They can explain their positions on this. Interesting. I also I was remiss in not making it clear that Kim Gaddy is a 2021 Russ Berry Foundation Making a Difference awardee. We've been honored to be collaborators with the Russ Berry Foundation. I've been honored to host that Making a Difference luncheon every year for the past 25 plus years. And yeah, it just makes me old, Kim. Stop smiling like that. Make me feel. And I remember when you got that award, it was and is a big deal. Let me ask you this: water equity in the city of Newark. What is the issue, and why is it a concern?
Well, in the city of Newark, we had an issue with the lead service line replacement. That's the issue, because no level of lead is acceptable. Any level of lead in our drinking water is harmful to our community. And so when we talk about water justice, we want to make sure that everyone has a right to safe, affordable, quality drinking water that doesn't harm them. And especially those who are from environmental justice communities. And so we have been working also to address the flooding in our community. You know, the Dayton Street neighborhood used to be the East Ward, right? And the major floods that happened is in the Ironbound section and in the Dayton Street neighborhood of our South Ward. The maps for the state of New Jersey say that in the next 15 years, that whole community will be underwater. And so we're also working to make sure green infrastructure is used as the first line of defense against flooding.
Can let me ask you something real quick? Go back to the lead issue. We'll have Mayor Baraka back on as part of our series, New Jersey's next governor 2025, because he's running for governor. But as the mayor of the city of Newark, where is the mayor on this issue of lead and the pipes? Is he saying it's a serious problem, or is he saying something different?
Yes, well, he finally began to speak up and talk about how serious this issue is. And now there's a issue with the replacement pipes. They're saying that one of the contractors was negligent. And so now, matter of fact, we have a call tomorrow with Sean LaTourette, the commissioner from DEP,
Commissioner, Department of Environmental Protection,
to discuss so they could kind of give us some updates. So finally, the mayor and everybody is now being at least more transparent and letting us know what is happening. Because at the beginning, we was not feeling that the information was very transparent, Steve.
We will have the mayor on, the candidate for governor, Ras Baraka, and he can talk about this. But Kim Gaddy is the founder and director of the South Ward of Newark Environmental Alliance, a 2021 Russ Berry Making a Difference winner. Kim, thanks. Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
You got it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
To watch more State of Affairs with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
Welcome back, folks. We're now joined by Denise Peoples, who is double lung recipient, been with us many times in the past, community services manager for the New Jersey Sharing Network. You'll see their website up in just a moment. And C. Lawrence Crump, Esquire, and Councilman at Large, Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. Denise, Lawrence, great to have you with us.
Thank you for having us.
Great being here. Thank you, Steve.
You got it. Denise, as we put up the website for the New Jersey Sharing Network, our longtime partners in this public awareness effort around organ and tissue donation, describe what the serious problem is of the 4,000 people waiting for a transplant in New Jersey. How could it be that 68% of those 4,000 people waiting for a transplant are people of color, when the population of people of color in this state is much, much, much lower? Please, Denise.
Well, a lot of people feel that once they register to be an organ donor, that they're automatically going to be an organ donor. It is such a rare, rare gift. And that is one of the things that one of our initiatives is to get the word out there about that information. Less than 0.1% of all deaths actually go on to be an organ donor. And less than 10% actually go on to be tissue donor. So although we have this, large number of people of color, and everybody registers, and they think that for some reason a myth is, oh, if you're African American, then you're going to be matched with somebody African American, or vice versa, or Hispanic, or whatever the case is. That is not it. We don't have enough people registered. I don't know if we'll ever have enough people registered, because as many people that are transplanted in the same day, we lose more people, and then more people are added.
And Denise will come back and tell us a little bit more about her situation, her story, the gift of life, if you will. But Councilman, you've known Denise for how long?
Over 10 years.
And why is this such a personal and policy issue for you?
I thought it was personal because if you know Denise, you understand that how this affected her life and how this made her a stronger person. The world is filled with a lot of people who we need to hear from. And fortunately, Denise is one of those people that I've heard from and inspired me to become an organ donor, to be quite frank. It's just critical, as growing up, you hear the myths, the that, particularly in the African-American community, that, if you donate, if you're an organ donor, you may not be able to have an open casket, just wild myths like that. If you were injured or in an accident, they'll do less to save your life if you're an organ donor,
Not true.
and that's absolutely false. And I think it's important that me just knowing Denise as a person and then just being involved and knowing what's going on with organ donations, that I can, from my office, shout as far as I can to make sure people are aware of what's going on and then become organ donors.
Absolutely. Let's just, Denise, help us on this. There are two initiatives. One is Say Yes, Save Lives, and the other one is Live Healthy and Move. How are they connected to? Which is it? Help us understand that.
So Yes Save Lives is our global New Jersey sharing network cry, and just everything about us for this year. We have a brand new CEO, and we just have so many great things going on. Carolyn Welch, yes,
right.
And she is getting ready to celebrate her anniversary with the sharing network, and we are very excited to have her and the energy that she brings. And with Live Healthy and Move, that is not so much an initiative as it is an event. So this event happened because we were sitting down talking, and unfortunately, when a lot of people see the sharing network for the very first time, it's at the worst times of their life. They're in an ICU, a PICU, a CCU. Their loved one, if it's an adult, they just left home this morning. This afternoon, they're getting a call to rush to the hospital. Something's happened. And they see their loved one in this condition, and just their minds are blown. And then when they meet certain clinical triggers, the sharing network will come to the hospital and speak to that family. We don't want that to be the first time. We go there to ask for a gift. We decided at the network to give back something to the community. Things like healthy living, blood pressure screenings, all these type of things to hopefully keep people well enough so they'll never need a transplant. Or if they want to be a living donor, they can, if they're healthy enough to do that. So we really give back with our hospital partners, our community partners. So many people come, our funeral home directors will come and talk about pre-planning, because it's just so many things that people don't know. And that's what Live Healthy and Move is. It's just to give people information.
And Councilman, I said this before we got on the air, I don't take this off my sharing network, donate the gift of life, and you have two. Why do you have two, Denise, real quick? Why do you have two? Show folks.
So that if I see someone, I can start a conversation and give them one.
Along those lines, Councilman, let me ask you, how much of this, and P.S., let me disclose, the sharing network is an underwriter of our programming around to create greater public awareness around organ tissue donation. Councilman, what do you see the role of government officials like yourself in helping to create, quote, greater public awareness around what's real and what's factual about organ and tissue donation, especially in Black and brown communities, please?
So I guess as a councilman, what my goal is to promote it as much as possible about organ donations, about dispelling the myths and misconceptions first and foremost, but also being an actual promoter of it and an advocate for it. For instance, legislation on my end is not going to make a change around the state, but what I do is promote National Minority Organ Donation Month, or other months where organ donation is an important issue or listed, and we continue to do that. When I go to meetings, discuss it. I did an article in the New Jersey Sharing Network magazine.
I saw it.
And just being an organ donor myself, my hope is to make sure that people understand if I'm able to do it and I'm willing to do it, there really isn't an issue, and that everybody could do it.
And go on the website of the Sharing Network if you want to find out more about how you can sign up to be an organ or tissue donor. Do that. Denise, I have about a minute left. The gift of life, how and when did it come to you?
Came to me October 2nd, 2006. I was diagnosed with idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis in 2000 and dealt with that disease, which is just amazing. And it is a journey I don't want to forget, and I'll never forget. And it brought me to this place. It brought me to doing what I'm doing now, just being able to share that story because people want to see. They want to, touch. Oh my gosh, you don't look like you got a transplant. You're joking. No, there's
double
no
lung
way.
transplant, double
Double
lung.
lungs, yes.
And
Yep.
you look sound and are stronger than ever. Hey, looking forward to seeing you for the Jackie Siekerka, my colleague, and I are going to be there for the 5K coming up in New Providence, right? You're going to be there?
I will be there singing the
I will.
national anthem. Yes, I will. Are you running, Steve?
Right, no, I'm walking. We stop. I'm just walking at this point. Okay, I'm lucky I'm walking. Don't do that to me, Denise. Councilman, thank you. Thank you. I can't thank you enough, Councilman. Denise, it's great seeing you as always. I'll see you for the 5K. Don't make me look bad.
That's right.
We'll stay. New Jersey Sharing Network, organ and tissue donation. See you after this. Be right back.
To see more State of Affairs with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at stateofaffairsnj.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD, and follow us on X at Steve Adubato.
We're now joined by Michele Siekerka, Chief Executive Officer of the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. The website will come up. They're also one of our media partners. Michele, good to have you with us.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Steve.
Hey, put in perspective for us the quote unquote corporate transit fee that Governor Murphy has proposed to tax or get a fee, I'm not sure what it is, from corporations in the state that have a net annual profit of $10 million or more to fund New Jersey Transit, which is on the fiscal cliff about to fall over, please.
Well, let's put it in perspective. It's a tax, okay? This is a tax. No matter what they call it, this is a tax. In fact, it's a 20% tax increase on New Jersey's largest and most innovative job creators in the state of New Jersey. And it is terrible policy, Steve.
The response of some, particularly some Democrats who support it, said, hey, listen, you tax those who have the most. And they're arguing, in fact, they argue against the fare increase of New Jersey Transit for bus and trains and argue that corporations with big profits should carry that burden largely. You say?
Well, I say these job creators who employ tens, if not hundreds of thousands of workforce across the state of New Jersey are already paying their fair share. Let's put that in perspective. We are the only state in the nation that we are in the top bracket for the four most significant taxes, those taxes being corporate business tax, individual income tax, property tax, and sales tax. That affects our competitiveness. And Steve, the governor acknowledged that a high corporate business tax affects competitiveness in what is an expensive state in New Jersey, when just 2 weeks before he presented the budget, he stated when it comes to sunsetting the corporate business tax, we must be cold-blooded about our economic development strategy. So he acknowledged that it affects our competitiveness and then does a 360 and puts this tax back on these businesses retroactive to January 1, literally the exact day that the sunset went into effect.
Let's put that in perspective. So the so-called sunset of what has been known as the corporate business tax, it was supposed to end at the end of when?
December 31st, 2023. It's sunset, yes.
And
by
the governor
statute.
said, and to Michele's point, it's not an opinion, it's a fact. The governor said it will end. I'm not going to renew it. I'm not going to unsunset it, not even a word. But then the governor came up with this corporate transit fee. He says it's not undoing what he said he would do regarding the corporate business tax. This is a different fee for the wealthiest corporations. Did he go back on his word?
He absolutely did a reverse and an about face, no matter what you call it.
Why do you think he did it, Michele? If he was so clear, I'm ending the corporate business tax, and then introduces this corporate transit fee, regardless of what one calls it or doesn't call it, I'm not going to engage in semantics. Why the heck do you think he did it if he was so clear that he wasn't going to tax businesses anymore at the end of 2023?
It's called political pressure, Steve.
By whom?
Well, let's see. there are folks out there. First of all, let's unravel what allegedly this is going toward. Okay. We suggest this is going toward New Jersey Transit. Suddenly, in the last 2 weeks, we're throwing tons of money at New Jersey Transit without even understanding what New Jersey Transit needs for its future. Okay. We got the Transportation Trust Fund money that's moving very rapidly. In fact, I think it's on the governor's desk, today as we are
So there's a
speaking.
gas tax, sorry for interrupting, Michelle, a gas tax 2 cents for each year over the next 5 years, which is a 10-cent increase in the gas tax, correct?
Correct. And
And then with
large
electric
portion of that,
vehicles-
yeah,
Go
and a
ahead.
large portion of that goes to New Jersey Transit. Okay.
Okay.
We heard that there's a rider increase. The riders, okay, those who use the transit, they're getting
Fair
an
increase, a fair increase,
The
a
fair
15%, 15%, go ahead.
And now we're putting this, $1 billion, which is exactly how it's scored in the budget from the business community, all right, toward New Jersey Transit. Now they say that they're going to dedicate it, okay? However, you can't dedicate those monies without a constitutional amendment. Nobody's talking about a bill for a constitutional amendment to dedicate this 2.5% corporate business tax to transit. Where's this money going? This $1 billion is being captured today, and it's going into surplus for the next year because transit doesn't even need this money until the next fiscal year.
Why would the governor do that if he's making the case that he's trying to get New Jersey Transit off this so-called fiscal cliff because they're virtually bankrupt in the eyes of many? Go ahead.
Well, so let's be fair. We'd like to be ahead in planning. Last thing we ever want to do is do last minute planning. All right. However, you are doing a money grab of $1 billion that will not be reinvested into company workforces, facilities, or those communities, to those exact companies who are planning already, because guess what? A promise matters. Businesses make investments and make plans based on predictability and certainty. When you do a reverse and you have a roller coaster tax policy, companies are not going to invest because they cannot rely upon the word of our policymakers. That is a horrible message to send to our current companies here in New Jersey today and to anyone on the outside who's looking to come to New Jersey to make an investment. We don't make investments during uncertainty, Steve. It doesn't happen.
Are you convinced that that some of these businesses that are making $10 million profits or more annually are going to, quote, leave the state?
Well, Steve, I spoke with one, and they said if it weren't for their long-term lease here in New Jersey, now's the time to consider. And why? Obviously, continuing to take advantage of the business community. But guess what? We're in a post-COVID remote hybrid work environment.
Well,
Corporate footprints, here we are, right? Corporate footprints are shrinking. Let's not invite a company who's going to be downsizing their corporate footprint and has a majority of their workforce remote already, the invitation to take their corporate status out of the state of New Jersey and put it in a lower tax jurisdiction state, like right next door, Pennsylvania, where CBT is on a multi-year trajectory
corporate
to go
business
down
tax.
to 4.99%.
And what's ours?
Well, right now it's 9. That was the sunset. So guess what? On December 31st, it was 9. Okay. Now it will go up to 11.5 for those 600 plus companies, the largest and most innovative companies in the state of New Jersey, employing tens, if not hundreds of thousands of jobs.
Michele Siekerka is the CEO of the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. I assure you we'll have the governor or a representative from the governor's administration to make the case for this quote unquote corporate transit fee. Michele, as always, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Steve. Be well.
You too. I'm Steve Adubato. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 30 years in public broadcasting. Funding has been provided by the Russell Berry Foundation, IBEW Local 102, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, PSEG Foundation, RWJ Barnabas Health, Let's Be Healthy Together, PNC Foundation, New Jersey Institute of Technology, Newark Board of Education, and by the Fidelco Group. Promotional support provided by New Jersey Monthly and by NJ.com.
Bullying comes in many forms.
Physical and verbal bullying.
Cyberbullying and intimidation.
Homophobia and shaming.
Bullying hurts and leaves lasting scars.
We must unite, speak out, and take action.
Embrace empathy, respect, and acceptance.
Join us, be a voice against bullying, and create a safe space for all.
See the HIP specialist for assistance and support at your school.